Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Office Bloke Daz.
I'm Office Bloke Mike.
Here we are, just two of us today.
Yay.
10 final interviews with iconic celebrities.
Oh, right, this will be interesting.
Yeah,
Probably quite eerie as well.
It is, because there's a lot of celebrities who pass away without, like, unexpectedly.
Oh, absolutely. Well, that's the thing,
a
isn't it?
lot.
If you have an interview one day, if some of these, like, a day or a few days later, you think, wow, never saw anything like that coming.
Yeah, but let's see what these are. 10 final interviews with iconic celebrities. Let's go.
Sometimes people want to see if you're real.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're looking at the most compelling and telling interviews with legendary stars right before their passing.
Thought it'd be interesting to collaborate or just, see how the chemistry works.
Malcolm Jamal Warner, hot and bothered. Actor and artist Malcolm Jamal Warner led everything from wholesome comedies to heady dramas.
My heart is breaking for this girl. Mine too.
Fans were devastated when he drowned during a holiday in 2025, age 54. 2 months prior, he talked with Melissa Ford for over an hour about his career, life, and personal philosophy. He also shared how his mother told him that his work granted him immortality.
I remember my mother said to me one time that Mr. Cosby gave you immortality.
Facts. That is very true.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Still, Warner emphasized that he wanted to be remembered as a good person. This wasn't the last we saw of him. Warner hosted the podcast Not All Hood until his passing, and in his final Instagram video, before doing Hot and Bothered, he reminded people that there's always a reason to smile.
Like, if you just take a minute to stop and take stock, I guarantee you can find at least one reason to smile.
That spirit is why this great talent will be remembered as a good person. Anthony Bourdain, Popula. Celebrity chef and intellectual.
I didn't know Anthony Bourdain had passed away. Did he go? Is that the one that he didn't go walking in like Greece or somewhere? That wasn't him, was it?
No, the only one I remember doing that was like a doctor, a British doctor.
Yeah, Anthony Bourdain. I thought he was still alive.
I'm not well up on him, to be honest.
Anthony Bourdain.
Actual travel logger Anthony Bourdain was thought to be the envy of everyone. The heartbreaking way in which he died raised public discourse about celebrity lifestyle and the realities of mental health. This was compounded after Popula editor Maria Bustillos published her interview with Bourdain 1 month after his passing. In 2.5 hours of promoting projects and decrying the state of politics and industries, he said that he found the luxuries of travel to be isolating. He instead preferred the little moments of taking in the world with his film crew and ordinary people. Even as things were getting to be too much, Bourdain affirmed to people that life itself is precious. Michael Madsen, before the fame.
Yeah, you don't know what's going on in people's heads, I guess. I mean, like I say, I thought Anthony Bourdain, I kind of vaguely remember some story about him, but I thought, for some reason in my mind, I thought he was still alive.
Yeah.
But maybe I'm getting mixed up with someone else. But,
I don't really know. I've not heard anything about him at all, to be honest.
A travel vlogger.
Right.
Yeah. But it was quite interesting what he did. You go to sort of like certain places that were kind of like, from what I remember, I never really watched a lot of him, what he did. Yeah. But I think he went to like a little bit out there places, a little bit.
Yeah, a bit different, a bit more maybe isolated, something like that.
Yeah, but it was, it's just, something in my mind's telling me I know about this, but I just can't think about what it was.
Together. Right.
Yeah, but obviously they touch on mental health there as well. But
indeed, which I guess might be the case in more than one of these. I'm guessing, it's a big thing these days.
I was watching an interview with Ricky Hatton, probably about a week or two ago, and obviously he was going on about this was after he passed away. How long ago did he pass away? About 2 weeks ago.
Right, about 2-3 weeks, wasn't it?
So I watched it just after he passed away, this interview, and he was going on about how good he is, and he's gone through obviously challenges with his mental health.
He has, absolutely.
But he's also, when he was talking about like how positive everything was. He's coming up, he's got a fight coming up. He was training
again, wasn't he, for a fight against somebody? I think it's more of a bit of an exhibition type thing, but it seemed like quite a positive thing, didn't you think? Right, he's mental health side, he's sort of like getting better, but it just shows, doesn't it? It's a tough thing.
I'm not sure. I don't think the cause of death has come out yet with Ricky Hatton.
No, I don't think it has.
But it was. Someone said it might have been an accident.
Right.
So,
okay.
But I don't know until that comes out. But.
Yeah. 7 months before Michael Madsen died of cardiac arrest, he was featured on the Celebrity Profile show Before the Fame with Mike Sherman.
Because I am just a boy from Chicago, and I didn't have much motivation or inclination.
He doesn't look too healthy.
No, not really.
I was mostly in trouble all the time, but I was a big movie fan.
The interview dove deep into a distinguished acting career and turbulent life, which included domestic scandals and struggles with substance use. Madsen was candid about the challenges in reconciling a positive personal life with the pressures of celebrity.
Yeah, I would do a lot of things different, but I think the things I would do different were a lot more in my personal life.
He said that there were things he wished he could have done differently, but that there's no point in thinking about that. Madsen's final in-depth interview puts into perspective that it's better to remember the complexities of this man and the impact of his work.
There are a lot of things I would have done different about that. But then again, you can't go back and you can't change anything, so there's no point in thinking about it.
Matthew Perry, Q with Tom Power. For all the joy that comedic actor Matthew Perry brought, he accepted that he represented the burdens of substance use disorder.
What it's all about is helping people, and I've heard already 5 stories of people that read the book and checked into treatment.
He brought this to his 2022 appearance on the CBC radio show Q to promote the memoir, Friends, Lovers, and the Big Terrible Thing.
The thing that always makes me cry, and I hope I don't cry here, is that it's not fair. It's not fair. It's not fair.
It's not fair.
That I had to go through this disease while the other 5 didn't. They got everything that I got. But I had to fight this thing, and still have to fight this thing.
Perry explained plans to prioritize public service over acting, and that he most wanted to be remembered for helping others deal with the same struggles as him. Less than a year later, he drowned amid a dependency on ketamine that was criminally supplied by physicians. It was a tragic epilogue to Perry's last public appearances. Nonetheless, his work continues to provide people with humor and hope.
It really has been an incredible, first of all, it was an incredible ride, but it's been an incredible thing to watch it touch the hearts of different generations.
Betty White, People.
When you look at people like Matthew Perry, the size of what their stardom is ridiculous.
Oh, it's absolutely huge.
Friends was massive.
It's the biggest comedy for years and years and years.
Was he on Beverly Hills 90210, Matthew Perry?
Oh, I'm not sure. I've never really used to watch that, so I'm not too sure.
Me neither, but I've got a feeling you have to. No, you can Google it, or you can let us know in the comments. But the size of his stardom was huge, and I talk to people when I see sports people, and I talk to them and I say, your rise is massive. You come from nothing, a lot of people. Yeah. Especially in football, when you see footballers to talk to. You come from just regular homes that are working class sort of families. Football, yeah. And then they rise through this thing, and all of a sudden they become multi-millionaires. They're very, very wealthy. And that, not necessarily goes to the head, but it changes the whole life. If they become a superstar, they're told what to eat, what time to go to bed, how to sleep. They're told everything what to do. They're kind of babied a little bit. They're like machines, right, to be the best of the best. And then all of a sudden, as soon as their age comes, it's like, boom, it falls off. And I think Perry couldn't do maybe what he was doing prior to being... He wanted to be an actor. Yeah. He didn't want to do the public sort of service he was saying there, but he wanted to concentrate on his acting, which is what he excelled at. Yeah. But then once you get past a certain thing and then people go, no, we don't want him anymore because he's got drug issues or whatever. Can you imagine the fall from that?
Oh, it'd be huge. I mean, the public adulation, people wanting to know, people wanting to go out to dinner with you, people asking for autographs, and all of a sudden...
It must be relentless.
It's sort of like gone, and, a lot of people, when they get up to that, that height, that level of sort of like stardom, if you like, it's so difficult to deal with it. Yeah. Some people can, some people will throw themselves into something else, but obviously Matthew Perry was suffering a bit from substance abuse, before the end of Friends anyway, wasn't he? I think he's struggled over the years with that and alcohol, didn't he? I think he's fairly well known that, he did have big struggles with it, but
it was just, it's such a shame. You see him there, he was getting very emotional about it, so he had to deal with it sort of thing. But you see that what they went through, they were getting paid crazy amounts of money to do Friends.
Huge amount.
Sort of thing. And you see the size of what you built up. And it doesn't give you everything, does it?
Not at all. It doesn't help you deal with the pressure, does it? With all the pressure, we have drugs, alcohol. It's sort of a way out and a way to ease it. So it's huge. Tough one.
Few acting careers have had the longevity and consistency of Betty White's.
I thought I was Miss Sophisticated, and all that, and then I find there's an awful lot of Rose in Betty that I didn't know existed. I tell long, boring stories, and I always want everything to have a happy ending, and I really am Rose, I'm afraid.
Every generation mourned when she passed away in 2021, a few weeks shy of her 100th birthday. Yeah. This ironically happened just 3 days after People magazine published a profile piece on the major milestone. The glowing career retrospective featured White boasting about her good health and good attitude. She was as witty as ever, proving to be a riot who was full of life up to the very end.
No, didn't see that.
I just want to thank you all for your love and support
right, of course,
over the years.
That says a lot more about White's beloved life and career than about how long they lasted. John Wayne, Good Morning America. In 1979, one of classic Hollywood's biggest stars and most polarizing political figures told all to Barbara Walters of ABC's Good Morning America.
What's your idea of a very good day?
Well, getting up in the morning, being still here.
The 71-year-old John Wayne spoke humbly about his career and reputation as a figure of masculinity. He also clashed with Walters over his views on left-wing politics as rigid and socially corrosive. Wayne felt he was at an age that valued honesty and...
Looking at John Wayne there, I didn't really know much about John Wayne. I've seen a couple of his films when I was younger.
Yeah.
But I didn't know anything about him. I've never really researched anything about him as a person. So I
Same
don't know
here,
anything about. He's got a bit of a look of Robin Williams there, hasn't he?
He has a little bit, yeah. I've never really noticed that before.
I just noticed it then, and I thought he just looks a little bit like Robin Williams.
He's got that, he's got the profile, I think, hasn't he, a little bit?
Robin Williams could be on.
I mean, he was really big in like the westerns and stuff like that. That's where I remember him, from all the western films.
Yeah.
I didn't realise he was 70. I thought he was younger than that when he died, actually.
Yeah, I thought he was younger when he said 71 there. But I remember my dad used to watch all the films, so a couple of times I'd sit down and watch a film with him when I was young, but I was very young, so I don't really remember much.
Yeah.
I don't remember much about him as a person either.
No, same here, but I just remember the films really more than
too young.
Simply enjoying the time he had left.
And I want to hang around as long as I'm healthy and not in anybody's way.
Time ran out for the idol dubbed Duke 6 months after this controversial interview aired. 3 years later, the patriotic ABC special, I Love Liberty, featured an outtake in which Wayne championed his and Jane Fonda's right to free speech.
I think, naturally, that she's a little mixed up in her thinking, and I guess she feels the same about me. That's our right as Americans.
Besides Wayne's talent, that's something worth believing in. Kurt Cobain, Madhouse. The month he joined the 27 Club, Nirvana's frontman gave Madhouse magazine an interview to sum up his life, art, and personality. Kurt Cobain was colorfully blunt about everything, from the contemporary music industry to his racy marriage to Courtney Love. He even laughed off the notion of Nirvana drummer Dave Grohl wanting to become a singer-songwriter himself. Cobain waxed more romantic about being a father, but also about his substance use disorder. This intensified the mental health struggles that led to his death shortly after this ironically lively conversation. As important as his brief but high-pressure career was, Cobain maintained that it was in the small things that he found true happiness. Yul Brynner, Good Morning America. The towering Yul...
Proper shame about...
He's so talented, wasn't he?
Kurt Cobain. Very talented indeed.
Yeah.
It's one of them where, he'd be still one of them rolling out all kinds of tunes now.
Oh, I think absolutely. They'd be absolutely huge around the world. They'd be even bigger than they were then, I think.
I agree.
Brynner wanted the world to know how fragile he had become before his passing in 1985.
If there's anything you could change about what's happened in your life, what would you have changed?
If I could take back that smoking, we wouldn't be talking about any cancer.
The actor's lifetime of tobacco use contributed to the cancer he knew he would soon die from when he talked to ABC's Good Morning America. He then only wanted to star in an anti-smoking campaign, wherein he would say,
"Now that I'm gone, I tell you, don't smoke."
So, in his last professional act, Brynner collaborated with the American Cancer Society to isolate that clip for commercials that aired after his death. This important message is all anyone remembers from Brynner's final interview.
Whatever you do, just don't smoke.
Thankfully, there are many other strong-willed appearances to remember him by. John Lennon, Rolling Stone. The revolutionary musician John Lennon spoke to the revolutionary music magazine Rolling Stone for 9 hours on December 5th, 1980. He was murdered just 3 days later. Jonathan Cott had not yet finished transcribing his interview, which he ultimately worked into an obituary. The full conversation was finally published 30 years later, profiling a private husband and father who was preparing for a comeback after releasing his first album in 5 years. Lennon spoke at length about the creative process, humanist philosophies, and family that would define his legacy. In the decades since it was conducted, and the years since it was published, that fateful interview is as resonant a swan song as ever.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Marilyn Monroe, Life. In 1962, actress Marilyn Monroe's mental health struggles shut down production on Something's Gotta Give.
Stay here and now, fame is fickle. And I know it. It has its compensation. It does. But it also has its drawbacks. And I've experienced both.
She then sat down with the editor of Life magazine to extensively discuss the situation and her career. One particularly poignant quote reads, "I now live in my work and in a few relationships with a few people I can really count on. Fame will go by, and so long. I've had you, fame."
And I used to get the feeling, and sometimes I still get it. I think, gee, sometimes I think I'm fooling somebody. I don't know who. Maybe myself. Maybe others.
Richard Merriman's A Last Talk with a Lonely Girl was published 13 days after Monroe died of an overdose. The article has since become an important piece in discussions about depression and celebrity culture. But it's just as important to remember the iconic artist behind those final words.
Marilyn had obviously been a woman in pain, but I never saw any sign that this was a woman giving her last interview.
Who are some other celebrities whose legacy was captured in their last sit-downs?
Yeah, it's like with mental health and stuff like that. I think when you're a very serious talent, like a musician, actor, where you've got that brain where you're thinking constantly, I think there's always something in there that you overthink stuff. And I think nowadays a lot of them were older, more like, especially when they're talking about mental health, they were more older generation, way before social media. And I think with social media now, it piles on more pressure.
Yeah.
You know, it's for people to be a part of social media, because it's part of the social media now is a part of their everyday life.
Yeah.
You know?
But I mean, at least these days, mental health issues are out there now, aren't they?
Yeah. People talk about it more.
People just talk about it all the time. People do. I've seen celebrities, sportsmen, women do interviews where they're actually talking about it in the open now, whereas 20, 30, 40 years ago, that just never happened.
Yeah.
I think to control it, to try and do something about it, I think maybe that's where a lot of the recreational drugs might come in to try and sort of like forget about it, and alcohol abuse, whereas now
they could have contributed to it as well.
Could have contributed, absolutely, yeah. But now I think because people talk about it more, you'd like to think that at least helps, and there's a different avenue they can go down rather than just abusing drugs and things like that.
You see some people now going off the rails a little bit from a more modern day society. You know, over the past few years, we've heard troubles with Justin Bieber. You know, you see what P Diddy did.
Yeah.
You know, you see what what's her name? Hit Me Baby One More Time. Britney Spears.
Yeah.
You know, people they've had troubles over the time.
And you look at Bieber and Britney Spears.
Kanye.
They were so young when they started as well, though, which is an even bigger thing, isn't it? Like more or less child stars, if you like.
Yeah, they were.
Which is which could be a huge thing for them as well when they're growing up, and from a young age.
Yeah.
It's difficult for them to cope with.
They develop from a child, like you say, a child prodigy into an adult.
Yeah,
and that sort of like transition must be quite difficult as well.
Because people think people like that, they've got everything. They've got the fame, got the money, they've got the houses, got the cars. What is the problem? But was just like everyday people. We'd probably never understand the pressure that these people feel sometimes.
Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame.
It is. Yeah, you need good people around you. That's what they need.
100%.
And a lot of the time,
there's not that many people.
There's not good people around them.
No, they're out for themselves, and you see that with people like Harvey Weinstein in the movie industry.
Yeah, absolutely.
People like that.
And like it alluded to before, like Jacko getting prescribed drugs from doctors, they're actually supplying the things to them. It's, I don't know.
Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that. Don't forget, like and subscribe. See you on the next one.
Cheers.
Cheers.